If I don't see stars, I haven't hit you hard enough. So it's not a matter of I'm making a tackle. I'm going to punish you. I don't want you getting up. And if I can make you scared to come again through the hole, I did my job. There are big collisions. There are collisions where you're out for a second. And we never thought anything of it. I hold nothing against football or any of the organizations who had it. If they had told me that I would have had these problems earlier on, I still would have done the same thing. And one of the things is you're taught to get up. You're not taught to lay there, and you're not taught to, take care of that. So you do get up, and it becomes an initial response, and it's hard to fight that off. So when you have those moments, you're not taking care of it, you're not thinking anything because you were able to get up, and that's the defining thing. Are you able to get up? If you're able to get up, you're able to get back in the game. I was having decrease in cognitive ability. I worked down at Wall Street, and I was able to do detailed mathematics in my mind. I was a derivatives trader, and the markets are moving so fast that you can't use a calculator. So you have to do a lot of detail in your head. I was doing a mathematical calculation. It was a very simple one. It was 13 minus 8. And I could not figure out what that was. I said, 13 minus 8. And my mind went blank, and I said, well, 8 and 4 is 12, so it's got to be one more. But then I started getting confused, like 12, well, 13. No, wait, I'm getting the difference. I think it's 5. I'm not sure it's 5. I broke out a calculator to do that. And I had realized at that point in time, things are going downhill, and they're getting very bad.
So he was really good on hiding before. I didn't know that he was not sleeping at all. I find it after. There are certain signs that he was going through something beyond my reach, and I could help him. By the way he was acting, like, let's say something happened, I didn't even know what happened, and he will disappear for a walk.
Well, I was used to hiding things. That's how I lived most of my life, secrets. My life was a secret, the secret rage, the secret anxiety, the secret that things aren't going well, and I know it.
His moods, that sometimes he was hard to talk with, and he needed his time, so went for a walk, maybe an hour, maybe 2, and I learned to let it alone.
He would get mad a lot, and he would have his moments where he just wanted to stay in his room, and he would just stay there and lock the door and just go on his phone, or I don't even know what he did. He just locked himself in his room and stayed there for a while. He would also go on long walks, and we don't know what he did, or he would go out in the car and drive and go somewhere.
I'm telling my wife that there's a massive problem. I'm telling my wife that I was thinking about ending things. I was telling my wife that things are not good right now, and they're going downhill steep, and this may be a hell of a ride on the downhill side.
I saw the struggle on my husband when he was going ups and downs, and the doubts were hitting him. What if this doesn't work? And now I open the box and my wife knows.
That's when I did research, and I found Dr. Duturi almost immediately. In the initial meeting, I did feel a comfort because Dr. Duturi knew exactly what I was feeling, and it wasn't a surprise to him when I was telling him all these things, and that's what made it better. I'll tell you what, there were ups and downs in there. I'd love to say that, yeah, I sat in an oxygen tent, breathing, watching TV, but it wasn't like that. There was things that I had to go through, but here's the interesting thing is that the team was there all the time, and nothing ever seemed like a surprise. But as I learned to release that to the team because of their confidence and their ability, it became better and better, and the program became easier and easier. Yes, so there was a special day in the program, which is really important because it's that defining moment, and luckily it happened early on. I get in the car, and I just hit traffic immediately, and I'm going to be late. My initial responses were to have anxiety, to not make a call, but those never came up. I said, you know what, best thing to do is to give a call. Normally I would have just, gotten to the program and made some excuses. Oh, there was a lot of traffic and I left in enough time. But I said, no, that's not the way I'm going to do things. And I said, hey, I'm hitting traffic, I'll probably be late. And I was going on, and there were people cutting me off in traffic, and I remember thinking to myself, it's like, this guy, he needs to get ahead of me. It's just one car. Well, a funny thing happened as I'm pulling up to the oxygen clinic was that I had realized that during that trip, at no point was I yelling, was I screaming, did I want to even yell, did I want to even scream? I didn't have to pull out a sheet of paper with 15 ways to calm anxiety. I didn't need to do anything. All I needed to do was to live my life. My brain was reworking itself, had been rewired with a number of the things we had done. When I had gotten here, what had triggered that was I said, through a natural response or a typical response, was that, okay, pull in the parking lot, you're gonna be an extra 5 minutes late because you're gonna have to calm yourself down in the car. You're gonna have to breathe, you're gonna have to close your eyes. And it's like, wait a second. I don't feel that anxiety. I didn't waste that anxiety because normally I would have pulled up here and I would have blown through all my energy for the day, but I had the same exact energy I had when I left. I realized I hadn't expanded any energy. I didn't have the anxiety over the drive. And, that's when I realized, and luckily it happened early on, it's like, hey, this program works.
And now that the program is over, I can say I see a gradually increase of presence in life. He sleeps much better because he's not tired anymore. And he wakes up with a smile on his face. So I guess that it's a very good sign. The way he's looking toward the future, that changed. I didn't see any weird walks anymore, so he didn't left for a walk anymore, so I guess that it's a good sign.
Every day, I seem to get better and better and better. In fact, when I left, I was happy. When I left the program, I was like, this is great. I feel great. I know they're telling me it continues after this, but okay, maybe a little bit. So about 1 or 2 weeks later, it went parabolic. I was so calm. I was handling situations. I was handling many different things at the same time without expanding energy. Normally I would get in the office and I would have been in rage when I woke up, and I would have been in rage at traffic at 9 a.m. I would have blown pretty much 95% of my energy for the day. Had to have 3 or 4 cups of coffee to make it to noon, and then I'd try to figure it out. That's how I live my day. Let's get to noon and maybe we could take a nap or something like that and figure it out and hope I have energy, or maybe, there's enough in my schedule where I can take time off. Now, it's constant energy.
He doesn't get mad at all those stuff that he would have get mad at. He when meditates a lot, he does the brain tap a lot. He stays in his room, and I will knock on the door and he'll open it and he'll have a big smile on his face, and when he wakes up he has a big smile on his face. So I think that's different.
I got my wife and my little girl at home, and I hadn't been able to give them everything I wanted to for the last, 10 years of my daughter's life and my marriage to my wife, and now I can, all because of Dr. Dettori and the Osteopath Clinic.